Usually when you have the best player in the world, the sport's biggest institutions do everything in their power to put him front and center. We had Ronaldo and Messi on every poster, every broadcast, every campaign for 2 decades straight. Kids grew up with their faces plastered on billboards, video game covers, and tournament advertisements. The sport built its entire identity around them. But for Vinicius Jr., the man FIFA's own voters named the best player in the world, the system keeps finding ways to look the other way. And honestly, it's becoming impossible to ignore. Vinicius Jr. is one of the most electric and technically gifted footballers on the planet. He wins Champions Leagues, he scores in finals, he makes defenders look absolutely foolish on a weekly basis. He's got the smile, the flair, the story of a kid from São Gonçalo, a poor area on the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro, who climbed all the way to the summit of the world game. He plays with joy. He plays with passion. He celebrates with dances that the entire world has copied. He is exactly what football should be promoting to the next generation. And yet, at every turn, the sport's biggest stages have found ways to either minimize him or outright disrespect him. So what's actually going on here? To understand how we got to this point, we have to go back to October 2024, when the Ballon d'Or ceremony took place in Paris. Vinicius had just completed one of the great individual seasons in recent memory. He helped Real Madrid win La Liga and the Champions League, the 2 biggest trophies in club football. He scored in the Champions League final. He was named the best player in the entire Champions League. He made the FIFA Team of the Year. He was the bookmakers' heavy favorite going into that ceremony. The entire footballing world expected him to become the first Brazilian to win the Ballon d'Or since Kaká in 2007, nearly 2 decades of waiting for Brazil to have their guy at the top of the world. Then the result leaked before the ceremony even started. Rodri had won it. Now let's be fair, Rodri is an elite player. He won the Premier League with Manchester City and then went and won Euro 2024 with Spain, being named the best player of that tournament. That is a serious case. But here's the thing. Vinicius won the Champions League, was the best player in the Champions League, won La Liga, and was consistently the most dangerous and impactful attacker in Europe all season long. The criteria for the Ballon d'Or is supposed to include individual performances, decisive impact, and team achievements. By every single one of those measures, Vinicius had the stronger case. Cristiano Ronaldo said it publicly, in front of everyone. In my opinion, he deserved to win the Golden Ball. It was unfair. 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. He knows what it takes. And he looked at what Vinicius did that season and said it plainly. Real Madrid were so disgusted by the decision that they boycotted the entire ceremony. Not one player. Not one coach. Not one club official made the trip to Paris. His teammate Eduardo Camavinga posted, "Football politics. My brother, you are the best player in the world and no award can say otherwise." The Brazilian Football Federation was furious. The whole country had woken up expecting to finally see a Brazilian lift that trophy again after so long. And Vinicius himself went on social media and posted, "I'll do it 10 times if I have to." They're not ready. That's the kind of fire you want from your sport's biggest star. That's the personality. That's the story. So what did FIFA do with that moment? A few months later they handed him the Best Award, their own separate Player of the Year prize, with Gianni Infantino personally placing it in his hands. In winning the best, Vinicius beat Rodri in the very same vote. FIFA essentially turned around and said, yeah, actually, he's the best player in the world. So they knew. The question is, why does the sport keep making him fight for recognition he has already earned? And this is where it connects directly to the 2026 World Cup. Brazil arrive in North America carrying 24 years of hurt since their last title. This is the biggest football tournament on Earth, now expanded to 48 teams, hosted across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The stakes couldn't be higher. And Vinicius is Brazil's captain, their talisman, their best chance of ending that drought. This should be his coronation on the global stage. This should be his moment. Instead, coming into this tournament, the conversation was still clouded. People were still bringing up Neymar's shadow over this team. Journalists were still questioning whether Vinicius could truly lead Brazil at a World Cup, as if winning 2 Champions Leagues and being named the best player in the world at club level somehow doesn't count. As if he still needed to pass some kind of test that no one can clearly define. It's the same pattern repeating itself. He proves himself at one level, and then someone moves the goalposts. And look, Brazil didn't start the tournament perfectly. They drew 1-1 with Morocco in their opener, a game where the team looked flat and disjointed for long stretches. Morocco, the African champions, were actually the sharper side for most of that match. Brazil were struggling. And in that moment, when the team needed someone to stand up, guess who it was? Vinicius picked up the ball, drove at two defenders, cut onto his right foot and hammered it into the far corner past one of the best goalkeepers in the tournament. A moment of pure individual brilliance when Brazil needed it most. His coach Carlo Ancelotti said after the game, "He was very dangerous. I think he has everything in his power to have a great World Cup." Then against Haiti, Vinicius scored again in the first half and assisted a teammate's goal, making him Brazil's most impactful player at the tournament so far with 2 goals and an assist in 2 games. Brazil are through to the next round and Vinicius is the reason they didn't stumble out of the gate. But here's what's frustrating. This shouldn't still be a question. We shouldn't still be at a point where every tournament feels like Vinicius has to prove himself all over again from scratch. He's not an unknown. He's not a prospect. He's not someone with potential. He is the FIFA best player in the world, actively delivering at this World Cup, and the sport still hasn't fully committed to making him the face of this tournament the way it should. Think about how the World Cup gets marketed. Think about whose faces are on the promotions, the advertisements, the broadcast packages. There's a reason certain players become synonymous with a World Cup. FIFA has enormous power in shaping those narratives. And the fact that they can give Vinicius the best award with one hand and still not fully build this tournament around him with the other hand tells you everything about how the institution actually values him versus how it should. Other players get the benefit of the doubt automatically. Other players get the campaign, the spotlight. Vinicius has had to earn every inch of it while simultaneously dealing with racism on the pitch, which he has been incredibly vocal and brave about, and political games off it. He carries more weight than almost any player at this tournament, and he does it while still smiling, still dancing, still playing with that joy that makes him so special to watch. The 2026 World Cup is happening right now. Brazil are still in it. Vinicius is performing. But if football, and FIFA specifically, doesn't fully embrace this man as the face of the game he already is, they are going to look back at this era and realize they had one of the most compelling, talented, and marketable players in the history of the sport and spent years making him beg for a seat at a table he had already built himself. Vinicius Jr. is not a runner-up. He is not a what-if. He is not Neymar's understudy. He is the best player in the world. FIFA said so themselves. It's time the sport started acting like it.